Hello and welcome to the I3 lecture series hosted by the Masters in Digital Photography here at the School of Visual Arts. I'm Tom Ash. I'm chair of the program. This spring, 2023 season is being curated by our fantastic faculty member, Elizabeth Avedon. I'm so happy to introduce our speaker, fashion and portrait photographer and director, Timothy Smith. Tim is proudly Brooklyn born and based. We are equally proud that he's an alumnus of our Masters in Digital Photography from the class of 2016. And
Oh my God.
I know.
I thought it was like a year ago.
It's like,
It feels like it.
feels like it.
Yeah.
Tim's polished grit
old.
style can be seen in his work for both editorial and commercial clients. His work has been published in magazines including 26, Bullet, Parents Latina, and Essence. His commissioned clients have included many global brands, including Casio, UGG, ESPN for New York City Marathon, H&M, the ESPY Awards, and Gucci for Farfetch. As I'm sure you will see and hear, Tim is passionate about curating personal photography projects that creatively embody rich culture and tell authentic stories of style and triumph. Please join me in welcoming him back to SVA. Timothy Smith.
Thank you. The first thing we can start at is the beginning. You saw today, we had some technical difficulties, right? As a photographer, as an artist, especially if you're going to be making money from anything that you do creatively, you have to learn how to problem solve on the fly. If you guys don't get anything else from here, know that being an artist, making money is about problem solving. That is literally 75% of the battle. All right? So this is my first image. I'm very happy with this image. Actually, a really good friend of mine who's an amazing photographer helped me on this shoot. And he helped me create this image. And I did also direct some video. So I'm gonna show that really quick and then we can get into this, how this image was made, and we can go through some other stuff, and yeah. So that shoot ended up being the cover of the magazine, but that was also like kind of my first real shot, first real shoot that I directed and put together. So I do have a bunch of other videos within this project, and through this project you could kind of see the progression and how I developed, I guess, my style and how I can bring my own unique flair to everything that I do. So this right here is a kind of overview of my work. I know, especially because I wrote it and I gave it to Tom, but I know for a very long time, especially while I was in school, and up until recently, I like touted myself as a fashion photographer, right? And even putting this together, it was kind of a great journey for me because I was able to explore certain things about my creativity, and I kind of realized that fashion is not really like my first language. My first language is connection and portraits and color. So as we go through everything, I'm gonna kind of lay it all out and explain it. But yeah, this is just an overview of some of the stuff I shot, new and old. This is a little bit about me. We already kind of went through this. Oh, and another thing. So when I was putting together this presentation, I thought, how dope would it be that instead of it being like a per se lecture, this is actually a creative deck. Once I'm finished with this, I'm going to take all the SVA stuff out and send this to clients for work. So what you're seeing right now is how you can pitch yourself to agencies, to brands, to whoever for work. Because at the end of the day, when we leave school and we out in the real world, you against the wolves and you gotta know what you're doing. And you gotta be able to present yourself properly. I would suggest for everybody who's making a deck, who's looking out to get possible clients, you should definitely start with your opening image. Your opening image to be what represents you, what you're most happy with, which is what I did. I probably wouldn't have video in the presentation because if I'm an editor or just a client, I don't have time to watch through all your videos. So kind of just put a couple of pages that get straight to the point. So yeah. And you should probably include a portrait of yourself. This is very important. I know as artists, we're all in our heads. The world revolves around us, especially when we're creating, but you are nothing without your team, okay? There's a team of people, especially in my line of work, that help me every day, day in and day out on the shoot. And without them, I couldn't do what I do. So it is very important to let them know that you appreciate them. Yeah, there's even times on set, if I have an assistant, I'll go get my assistant coffee. And I'll check in with my assistant to make sure they're okay. That's how you show appreciation, gratitude, and you can pay them. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is a funky little Venn diagram that I made, right? This right here is the 3 things that make up me, right? My work, my style, everything revolves around these 3 things. It's color, vibes. You gotta have good vibes, right? Whether you provide the good vibes on set or you bring the vibes through the photos, through the art, and quality, right? Then you got this little diamond in the middle. That's when it all connects. That's when you shooting like Steph Curry. That's when everything is working, okay? So, we're gonna go through some photos, some slides, and I'm gonna give you guys examples of when I put color and vibes over quality per se. On commercial shoots mainly, where the quality is way more important than everything else. But before we do that, these are questions you should ask yourself, right? So what sparked your creativity? So for me, I wanted to be a photographer because I grew up with my grandparents. Every Saturday morning, I watched Spider-Man. Every Saturday morning. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and I wanted to be like him. Spider-Man was also a photographer. Spider-Man is also a comic and a cartoon. So right then and there, you get the color, you get the vibes. And for me, 90s animation with those hard lines and the way the shadows and everything look, I think is the best quality. So within that first question, I kind of got the 3 things that make me, right? Shape me as an artist. What components are consistent throughout your work? So everybody here, I'm assuming everybody here is an artist. You should be able to go back and look over your work, whether it's span of 5 years, 5 days, 20 years, 20 days, and you should be able to find something that's consistent. Maybe at first, it wasn't super prevalent because you were still kind of just, making your way, learning how to create, but there should be something there. What is your goal? Are you just making photos or are you telling a story? And I'm here to tell you that there's no wrong answer to that. If you're just taking dope photos, that's cool. And if you're telling a story, you're telling a story, but make sure the story is cohesive and it makes sense. And as you will see through this deck, because I also attach mood boards and everything else that I send to clients, there's a lot that goes behind creating these images, right? Are you doing this for a living or will it be a hobby? That's your own personal, you gotta figure that out because being an artist for fun is very different being an artist for, being an artist for a profession. to make the money. Because what are you going to do when the phone stops ringing, right? We all have periods where the phone is ringing, the emails are coming in. Yo, can you shoot this? Can you do this? I need you to do this. And then we have dry spells, right? And then we have times where you're probably not the top of everybody's mind anymore. What are you going to do to sustain yourself? How are you going to make yourself relevant? Yeah, I guess that's it for that. This is an example of me dealing with color and vibes over quality, right? It's not to say the quality isn't there. It's not to say that these images can't be blown up and printed. What I'm saying is that this was just a test shoot, right? And I really just wanted to go outside and create some really fun images that doesn't even necessarily tell a story, but even I think if you're looking through this, you can kind of see a story. It's about a girl on a basketball court or the girl at a park enjoying the day at the park. The story is simple, but it's still a story. And the images are kind of cohesive. And as you can see, that I also like smiles. So I'm more a commercial advertisement person. It gets you the money, right? But just even with me, like, everybody thinks I'm so serious, but I'm not serious. This is just more of that. Again, it's just color and vibes, right? Now this one, this is also, this was an editorial. It started out just as a concept, and with this one, it was more focused on color and quality, all right? As you can see, there's not a lot of playing, there's not a lot of movement, but it's still color. It still has aspects of me in it, all right? This is another one. This is vibes in color. You got the vibes right? You got the fashion, you got the Off-White, the Balenciaga, you got everything you need there. And I'm still staying true to the color. For me, color is like, I don't know if y'all know, it's like number one for me. Now this is a diamond, right? Because, so this is a job that I did for Target. Actually, the person who helped me is back there. He's also a great photographer. Thank you, Oren. But as you can see, this is all three, right? This is the trifecta. This is when you hit it. So for me, it's color, quality, and vibes. For you guys, it might be something totally different. But when you get all three, especially when you're dealing with commercial clients, it's weird. They want you to be yourself, but you still have to live within that box that they put, right? And for something like this, I think it was like a 4 or 5 day shoot, and just one of those days was just pre-lighting. So we spent like 10 hours just pre-lighting. And as simple as this looks, and as simple as my lighting always looks, sometimes it can get very complex, right? You have a lot of scrims, you have a lot of flags, you have a lot of V-flats. And if we have time after this, I'll show like behind the scenes of some of my shoots so you can see like how we light it, etc. This is another one. So this is one for H&M Kids. And again, because you're shooting for a big client, the quality has to be there. You know what I mean? It has to be, how you doing? It has to be everything. Same thing here. So hopefully, in my mind, y'all don't make me look crazy. Hopefully I get some participation. For these next few slides, I kind of want y'all to guess. So this is the first one. So this is Neil Patrick Harris for Neiman Marcus. Can anybody guess, out of the three, color, quality, and vibes, is it all three, or which two of the three, or which one of the three? Anybody can answer. There you go.
Quality, vibes, and it could be color.
All right.
So say what she said.
So she said quality, vibes, and color. And she's right. She said could be color, but I give it to you.
Okay.
You're right. And the key that I said there was the client, right? It's for Neiman Marcus. So this is Neil Patrick Harris, right? So of course, a brand or company of that caliber, an actor of that caliber, a celebrity of that caliber, they need the top of the top, right? They need the best of the best. And this was also a really funny multi-crazy day shoot. I only had Neil, out of the multi-day shoot, I had Neil Patrick Harris for about 30 minutes. All right, and I'm talking about, yeah, it was a lot. We rented like a townhouse. We rented this crazy $10,000 a day house, right, for 3 days. Didn't show up, something happened. We ended up shooting still life, which I'll show in a second, in a townhouse for 3 days. It like literally this whole entire house in the city, we were shooting on a table. It was the craziest thing. Then we ended up going, I think, to like Pier 59 or something. And yeah, he was in and out. He was actually very happy that that's another thing. I try, especially with commercial clients, actually even with editorial clients, right? I try to make sure everybody knows I'm not wasting their time, right? I'm a professional. I'm here to do a job, you are here to do a job, right? It's like, especially it's like, it was on the weekend, if it's on the weekend, and we're shooting like 8 a.m. call time, maybe 6 a.m., hey, by 1, 2 o'clock, I plan on getting us out of here. You know what I mean? Now, sometimes things happen. It doesn't per se happen all the time, but majority of the time, my clients appreciate the fact that I take their time into consideration. Oh, well, this is the still life shoot. So, does anybody want to guess on this one? This one should be easy, I guess. Anybody? Quality and what?
Time.
No, it's either quality, color, or vibes.
Quality and color.
Nah, you're right. You're right. And it doesn't have the vibes only because, I don't know if you guys, I'm not a still life photographer. Yeah, there's no subject. And this is kind of like, what you're going to see through these slides, even when I get to the beauty section, it's, while I'm not traditionally this type of photographer, I still would probably take the job if I'm allowed some creative freedom, right? And like a lot of these effects, besides, I think the fire was comped in, but everything else was done in camera. These are like 97% straight out of camera. The little lines, the glitz, yeah, all that stuff we did in camera. A lot of fine tweaking of light, but we was able to do it.
Sparks and a spoon too, and a knife.
Yeah. It was a, I don't want to be unprofessional.
Your secrets now.
I don't care. I don't want to be unprofessional. It was some type of, yeah, it was some type of star filter. Yeah. I was trying to remember how many points or whatever it was, but I don't remember, but it was a star filter. Now this one. This one is kind of hard. But I heard somebody talking. Oh, Fedora Man. I know, that's why. I wasn't making fun of a random person, I promise. I only make fun of people I know. So, yeah, does anybody want to take a guess or a stab at it?
Vibes and color.
Vibes and color, okay. What did you say?
Vibes,
Okay.
quality,
Oh,
vibes, quality.
Okay, did somebody else have their hand?
I was going to say vibes and quality. Yeah, vibes, quality, and color.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is for Casio. And yeah, so this is kind of like, I guess, like an advertising job. So yeah, gotta do all three. You had the trifecta. This one. I can't remember. Oh, so this one was also for Neiman Marcus. But the answer is not what you think. So somebody take a stab at it.
Definitely vibe.
Vibe. Okay. I'll be honest, I forgot what I put here. So we're all gonna be surprised in like a couple seconds. All right, so let's go with that. Oh, actually, I would have said vibe. Well, you got me. Quality and color. Oh yeah, you did say quality. Yes. Quality and color. Again, as you can see, even through these couple of slides, color is the one thing that I'm always focused on. Always. That's me. It's a part of my brand. Now, with this slide, can you tell that I actually hate shooting in the studio? The goal was to make sure that you guys couldn't tell. But in actuality, I despise the studio. I hate it. So even these look like they were studio shots. These were actually in my friend's backyard. Did I light them? Yes. Did I use strobes? Did I use scrims? Yes. So the purpose of this is that I know there's photographers that only shoot natural light. I know there's photographers that only shoot studio. I know there's photographers that don't, whatever. When you are stepping into the big leagues, I guess, nobody wants to hear that you can't do something because you don't understand the lighting. Like there's no excuses. And you gotta think about it this way, if I'm giving you, even if it's $5 for a service, if you tell me you could do the service of $5, I want that service. If I give you I don't want $5 service, I want the best service that I can get, right? So this was just a little fun thing. I just want to let everybody know that you should always be working on your light. Always, always, always.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Did you start in color?
Yeah.
Your career?
Yeah. Oh, she asked, what's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby asked me if I started in color in my career. Actually, no, I didn't. So I don't know if you remember before grad school, I didn't go to school for photography until grad school, right? It wasn't until, unfortunately, my grandmother passed away. At the same time, it's the craziest thing ever. I saw this movie, Black Swan, right? And I found out that it was shot with like a Canon 7D. And I was like, oh, I want to get me a 7D. I'm about to shoot movies, right? And so she passed away. I got my student refund check, and I was in North Carolina at the time. And I drove like 2 hours or some change to Hampton. And I brought this camera. I didn't really know what I was doing, right? And I brought like some old Nikon lenses and I manually adapted it. And instead of taking a video, I took a photo, right? And it's like the weirdest thing ever happened. I curse a lot, so I'm trying not to curse. I don't know if y'all can tell. I took a photo and like everything was just like all those feelings and emotions of being Spider-Man, swinging around the city as a kid, taking photos. It came back, right? So I say all that to say, my first camera, I actually did half of my portfolio that I submitted was in black and white. And it was like cars, trees, cats. It was, right? I know. I know.
Still not SBA.
No. And then when I came here, I did have like 2 or 3 printed editorials in my portfolio though. Because around that time is when I started finding my style a little bit. But yeah, no, I didn't. I started in black and white. So now this is shoot in London, right? This is literally, I took this photo like 5-6 years ago, and I just stumbled across this last night while I was just going through some images to put together. And within like 2 seconds, I just reworked the color. So this is what I submitted to the modeling agency. It's like a regular test shoot, whatever. And I was horrified, right? Because I was like, damn, though, this color is ugly as hell. But 5-6 years ago, my style wasn't matured, right? So again, now I showed my agent this photo. She said, oh, we should submit this for something for Gap. Because even though it's the same exact photo, the vibes is different. The color is different, therefore the vibes are different. And that's how, so I'm trying to, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's okay to go back on old work. Because at this time, I thought I was like the best photographer ever. You couldn't tell me nothing, right? But it was like, I was horrible. So yeah, it's all about your style maturing. You could definitely, tweak some things.
But he looks exactly the same.
No, it's the same photo. I just re-edited it. Yeah. Yeah, I just re-edited the photo. I'm not sure. No. Yeah, I just re-edited the same photo. Same with this. This was longer than that. And these are just photos I stumbled across yesterday. And now who's to say the left one or the right one is better, whatever. It's just to show that when your style matures, sometimes it's okay to go back and tweak some things. It looks a little different on this screen, looks a little better, but we'll let it live. Same thing here, all right? And even with just my minor tweaks, the greens in his eyes pop a little bit more. His jacket, even though, so I wasn't as good as I thought I was at this time, even though the sleeves on his jacket are blown out, playing with some curves, some highlights, and some color, I was able to bring enough back, right? So now it looks a little better. His face looks a little less punchy. So now this is a really, because I know nobody want to say, right? We all saw some shit before, or pitched somebody an idea, or was like, I'm killing shit, and then you go there, and it's just like the worst day ever, right? And it's not even the worst day because of your team, because of the model. It's just sometimes, I know we don't talk about it, it's kind of taboo. As artists, sometimes shit don't click, right? And I'm a really big proponent of, I have this thing, and I think I learned it from Mark Zuckerberg. That's a guy on Facebook, right? It's like your brain your brain is a muscle. You only have a certain amount of good choices you can make in a day, right? So if you have a shoot and you wake up before the shoot, but you got to find something to wear, you got to figure out something to eat, you got to do this, and let's say if you drive, you're driving, so you got to maneuver through traffic. By the time you get there, you're mentally exhausted. You don't know. So I'm going to show you guys a shoot that I did that bombed. I had to reshoot it. I had to literally go back to the magazine and say, hey, I know, sorry, I'll do better, right? And because of my work and my history with them, it's not a big deal. And it's ironic because this is a shoot I think that was used on some of the promo images. This was a reshoot. So this is actually, okay, this is a mood board. This is what I pitched to the magazine. These next few slides, and what's the color speaks for itself, right? Vibes. The first thing I want you to do when you open my mood board, I want you to see, you can get a general idea of what the color and the vibes are gonna be, right? And it's like this. I'm a big proponent of Fifth Element. I mean, I'm a big fan. So I even shot I directed a video that you'll see a little bit later that's inspired by Fifth Element. You'll be able to tell. And even in studio space, I actually share it with an alumni, Boise Bieber. He helps me a lot on shoots too, but me and him had this space for a very long time. So shout out to that. Alumni is working together. So this is kind of like, this is hair. So when you put together a shoot, right, after you got the vibes, you kind of got to figure out what type of hair. How do you want the hair to look? How do you want the makeup to look? How do you want the clothes to look? How do you want the accessories to look? And at this point, you can put it all together yourself, or this is where your team is so great and so helpful. If you're working with a hairstylist and a makeup artist, it's good. Hey, I got this idea. Excuse me. I got this idea. I would love if we work on it together. And you're going to them because they're good in their field. So we also got to understand we can't always overstep our boundary, right? Like we are professionals, at the overall vision and taking photos and just making sure everything stays together. But there are other pieces in that equation that are very important. So yeah, part of a mood board, more accessories. It's kind of the vibe I was going for. Makeup, right? So this is what I ended up with, right? Now, this model is amazing. She's beautiful. She's stunning. She's actually a really, really big model. Hope I don't get in trouble for this, right? But while the images are good, this is nothing like what I sent them, right? Out of that mood board, you wouldn't expect this shoot to be attached to that mood board. It's a totally different thing, right? And again, it's beautiful. It kind of doesn't even look like my style, right? And that's just one of those days where things weren't clicking, right? So, to the reshoot. Send a couple emails, blase. This is the reshoot, right? I switched up the mood board a little bit, but as you can see, this is much more my style, right? It's vibrant, it's colorful, etc., right? And I actually wanted to reshoot it with this model. She just wasn't available. So I ended up shooting with her, and she was amazing. But as you can see, on the reshoot, I was able to do just much more my vibes. I was doing beauty, but with wide angle macro lenses. It was different. It was much more me. Speaking of beauty, so I am not a beauty photographer by any stretch of the imagination. I don't even like conventional beauty things. I like weirdness. I like quirkiness. I like all that other stuff, right? So this is me within this space, well, trying to find a lane within this space, right? Because it's so many of us just shooting for the same stuff. We're shooting, all competing for the same stuff. How can you fit out? How can you, make a name for yourself and make an everlasting impression? And I've been doing a lot of tests. Some work, some don't work. We're gonna see some that work, some that don't work. Oh, I forgot this part. So this is a quick video that I did, and it's like, it was a beauty shoot. Very quick, very simple. I don't really like to waste. I don't like to do super long videos. But yeah, so stuff like this. These were just shot in my crib. I shot them in my living room. The lighting wasn't that intricate. This is all continuous lights too, so it wasn't super intricate. It was more about me just being able to like see if I can make some interesting photos while telling some type of a story, right? I even frequently also explore like shooting men's beauty. Like, I don't know if you guys know like Milk Makeup and stuff like that. There's a lot of the big beauty brands now also catering and having lines dedicated for like men's beauty as well. I believe one of these photos was also used for the promo. But even this was I shot this for a friend, but it still was like a test, right? So yeah, it's still, we got this very beautiful, intricate makeup, and it's just trying to find ways to just take good photos and not make it boring. This is another one. This was actually inspired. I saw some Gucci beauty stuff, and I was like, oh, I think this would be dope. And I wanted to put a shoot together where it's these really tight crops, but none of this is on a macro lens, right? So it's a macro extension tube, and again, like a wide to normal lens, and I'm just getting in close and just trying to figure out. We're gonna get to this too, because I think everybody that is in photography, you need to link up with a really dope video person, really dope DP, or you need to learn it, but you need to learn how to talk that language. You also need to be able to deliver some type of moving images to your client. Oh, and remember I said the team is very important. Shout out to Fedora, he shot the video. Just more practicing beauty stuff. And this one's a little more conventional. So my thesis advisor was actually Yulia Gorbajenko. Really good friends now still, but this was inspired by her, right? Because like Yulia is like a beast at the beauty stuff. But even again, I feel like I'm just trying to make it a little bit interesting, cutting off right where the nose is so you see up her nostrils. It's not something you would really do, but I thought it was cool. This is something that I don't even think necessarily worked, right? But I tried it. This was with a cinema lens, because the focus throw on cinema lenses are super long, and you could just, and it would just focus. And that's what this is. Just close up, kind of wide, distorted. Just try it out. And I started to say, like, I think it is always good to test and try out creative ideas. Don't be worried that they didn't work. Because you think it didn't work, and then months, years, weeks later, you'll be like, huh, you could go back to it and be like, there's actually something here. Now, I don't think this worked. A client saw this, and I got booked for like a makeup job, right? I don't think this worked. And it wasn't like this didn't get me the job. It was this, right? And you would think this, that you put money, got retouched, whatever. Nah, because now clients and everybody are just trying to find something different.
You feel like you're alone with them. You have a soulmate. Somebody who challenges you. I'm talking about someone who opens up things for you, touches your soul. You can't get back to them, no. You'll never have that kind of relationship in a world where you're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. You can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
Yeah, are you my soulmate, my angel? What do you want with me?
So, a friend of mine, he actually shot that. I directed that. So this one is titled Adversity Anyone. So while that video was cool, this day was the worst, possibly the worst day of my life. This was the second shoot of the day. The people that we were renting a place from, so I had a stylist, right? I don't know if you guys know, it's pretty old now, it was like seasons ago, but these looks were all Gucci. So this was like over $100,000 worth of clothes, right? And my friend who shot the video, the DP at the time, he worked for Complex. So after work, I said, yo, I get off at 5, I can meet you in Chinatown. I'll bring some gear from the job. Of course, all his cases had Complex on it. We were renting just like through a friend, somebody's apartment to just stage. The stylist pulls up, my friend pulls up, they see all this, and they literally was like, you guys are shooting a commercial. If you don't pay me $2,000, you got to get out. I just left grad school. So you can imagine that $2,000, you might as well told me $2 million, right? So I know I had a credit card with $500 credit limit on it. At this time, it was like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. My then girlfriend, now fiance, met me. I called a friend that doesn't know shit about photography. Hey, I need some help. I need an assistant. Can you help me? So my friend pulls up. I have to book a room the same day in Chinatown. So I think I maxed out my credit card, right? We ended up shooting until 4 in the morning. What I didn't know about Chinatown is, I think at 9 o'clock, all those pretty neon lights, they don't exist. So that video was shot within, that was only like 15, maybe 20 minutes worth of footage. So now I have no lights. I had a Nikon D100E at the time. So I don't know if you guys are geeky, but that's not a camera you want to shoot at high ISO, right? So now I promised people that I was going to shoot this fire shit because I got all Gucci. I got to deliver now, right? Everybody's looking at me like, yo, bro, I'm hungry. And I just maxed out my card and I'm like, yo, run it up. I don't care. Whatever, we figure it out. This was shot with available light on the scaffolding. That's the only thing that's there. I didn't have a tripod because why would I have a tripod, right? I'm hand holding this like at 15th of a second, something crazy. And I'm almost shooting wide open. But I had 2 options. Continue doing this shoot. I'll tell people, yo, my bad, yo. We got to redo this. There's no redoing it, though. I got $100,000 worth of Gucci shit, bro. We're not redoing this, right? So even this, that photo on the left is lit by that cart. That's it. It's like a street light. This one is my pop-up flash, right? Because what else am I going to do? But I was able to work through the problem and problem solve. As an artist, as a photographer, or whatever artist you are, creative in your industry, once you start making promises and accepting money for anything, you better deliver. There is no, like I said, it doesn't matter the monetary amount, you better deliver. So yeah, these images actually end up giving me a lot of jobs. But it was just like, I'm trying to see if I see, before we go there. Yeah, so we ended up till like 4 in the morning, the model hated me. It was like a whole thing. But the agent and everybody else was super happy because the images came out cool.
So
Yeah.
that's actually a Gucci commercial?
No, so here's the thing. I was shooting, I don't know if I should say the magazine. I was shooting at advertorial. Oh, sorry. She asked me, what's your name?
Joanne.
Joanne?
Yes.
Joanne asked me, was that for a Gucci, like, was that an actual Gucci commercial? No. So what it was an advertorial. So essentially what that is a brand will pay a magazine a lot of money to have an exclusive in their magazine, right? So it's not campaign, but you're getting close, right? That's like, okay, I'm getting there a little bit, right? No. So it wasn't a commercial, but it was an advertorial job and I had to deliver. Same thing here. This model was like 4 hours late, and which is like, it is what it is, right? The reason why all these shots are like that, because that one is just shot right next door to my old apartment with the light above. That one is shot with a lamppost. I've gotten, I want to say at least 7 jobs where somebody say, I want you to light it like this. And I'm like, dog, that's like a street lamp. like legit, the corner store is right, like this is the corner store. Like it's literally right there. Yeah, but it's like, but again, and this was a paid test shoot. I don't care if the model 4 hours late, dog. You got money for it, figure it out, right? So that's what happened. Huh?
It looks like the halal truck one.
Oh yeah, exactly. But
Kind of lighting.
exactly, the halal truck one was after this. So this one helped me. Exactly. So the things you do for free or the things you do for cheap or you think it's a bad thing, it might end up helping you. So everything is a lesson, right? I wish Boise was here to defend himself. So we had this shoot. It was middle of COVID. Like, yeah, COVID. Like when you thought you go outside and breathe, you catch COVID. It was like that. I got the email from Parents Latina. At this point, I shot with them a few times, kids or celebrities, etc. They said, hey, can you go to Victor Cruz's house in Jersey and shoot this story with him and his daughter? All right. It's a first world problem, I get it. But at this point, especially because it was during the pandemic and stuff was kind of slow on my end, I kind of, right before the pandemic, I dumped all my gear and I invested in, I don't know if you guys know camera, I invested in a Hasselblad H1 and H2, an old film camera. But that didn't want to shoot film, what'd I do? I sold the rest of my gear and I brought some of those medium format phase 1 backs, but I had the CCD one. So I come to this place, I have a camera that can shoot, 1.5 frames every couple seconds. I can't really go above ISO 200 in daylight. And it's slow as hell. The H2 was from like 1991 or something. Not like, I think the H2 is in, Hasselblad H2 is from 91. Get there, there's a bunch of outtakes with them running and everything. I shoot the whole entire shoot, right? Packing up to go. Whole time, me and Victor Cruz cracking jokes. Like, yo, it's hot as hell. I'm about to hop in this pool as soon as I'm done. And he's like, yo, man, you get your laptop out of the heat because it's hot. I was like, yeah, I know, right? Like, my images or something might get erased. Good script writing, that's foreshadowing. So everything is done. Something just tells me, like, I asked myself, I won't say their name, but you know. I asked the person that was helping me, yo, dog, let me see some of his images. I want to print them out because I have a little printer on set. I want to give it to him. Have him sign one. That's what I do. Everything is gone. Everything. My other assistant that was helping me with lighting had to go. Like we had like hard outs like at 5. So I got 2 options. It's 98 degrees outside. I'm in front of like a football Hall of Famer. And I'm like, dog, everything we just shot. The stylist is packing up. She about to be out. Everybody's like, oh, great job, everybody. Because for a while you could see the images in the computer. because I was tethering. So everybody knew what the images looked like. Nobody knows what happened. So I got two options. I just go home and be like, yo, that's crazy. I don't know. Something happened in transit. I got robbed. I don't know. Or I go to future Hall of Famer and say, hey, kind of messed up, dog. Long story short, I went to him. I said, hey, I'm super sorry. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the heat, blase, blase. I hate to do this, but if you give me 40 minutes, I'll shoot all 12 looks in 40 minutes. He's like, yo, I appreciate you coming to tell me that. I'm not the one you got worried about. It's my daughter. You got to negotiate with her. She's a tough one. She told me I had to buy $150 of Roblox. I didn't even know what that was. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Some shit that the kids play. Long story short, I gave in. And I had to tell the stylist, hey, I hope you bring all the clothes out. I'll help you pack back up. I'll help you do everything. I just need these 45 minutes. The cover, this wasn't supposed to be a cover story. This was one of the shots that I took within those 45 minutes. Those images in those 45 minutes end up being the best images of the day. The other ones just look like shit compared to it, right? And it was just like, I could have went home and not delivered, or just like, yo, I messed up. I need to reshoot this. He was so happy with the shots. I sent him a big print and everything. Like, he loved them. Yo, I'm gonna hit you up again. Give me an email. Take my assistant's information. So, dealing with adversity, you got to think on your feet. You know what I mean? And even the people on set was like, yo, normally people would have just left and just be like, yo, I don't know what happened. Same thing. So, for this shoot, same as that camera, everything's slow. I'm out in LA. I flew to LA and it was a red eye. I was doing a Parents Latina shoot. I flew out to LA the same night because the editor from this magazine, it was from WWD. They have a sister magazine called Rivet, which is like denim and stuff like that, called me and was like, yo, do you know any photographers in LA? Yo, I'm broke. I mean, yeah, I was probably broke. I was broke at this time. I was like, yo, I'll get my own flight. I'll fly out there and shoot it. Don't worry about it. Because now what am I doing? I'm building a relationship, building a rapport, and I'm doing somebody a favor, right? So I know a lot of people say, hey, free work, don't do that. I don't get paid. I ain't moving. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I flew out there. Again, I only got this one rinky-dink camera. It stopped working every couple of times. I had to like keep switching. It takes AA batteries. So now you know. Seriously, the grip takes AA batteries, so you know. Anyway, we shoot this in a hotel room. I rented a B1. So I rented a light, had light from the inside, whatever. This is in LA. This is rain. I got a camera from the 90s that takes AA batteries and a camera back that don't go above ISO 200 in LA, and it's raining. There's no umbrella. I don't have an assistant because I just literally flew out that night. And when I landed back I came back that night, the world was like shut down because of COVID. Like, I literally landed the day before everything got shut down. And again, I could make excuses. I couldn't even tether. That's another thing because I'm just running around. So it's just literally like, yo, I have to make sure I got this. And this is delivering under pressure, all right? Even that, I think that's a pop-up flash on Hasselblad. But yeah, all of these are just literally just happy accidents, or maybe curated accidents. I don't know. Yeah, some more of these. So this is a video that I directed. This is one of my favorite videos I ever directed. It's definitely inspired by The Fifth Element. I don't know if y'all know that movie, but with the red wigs and futuristic and shit. This is it. That one, the story of that was, it was very inspired by Fifth Element, and I wanted to have a story where this weird alien woman landed on Earth, and this is her first day on Earth, just exploring, and just like, yo, what the hell is going on, right? So that was that, and even with that shoot, I paid a lot of money out of pocket. I went on Craigslist, found like some sketchy person in Westchester, just like renting out their house. He was like, yeah, sure, you can use my house for like $200. I was like, all right. It was kind of crazy when I went up there. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the depths of Westchester. I don't think, yeah. But yeah, I just say that again to say that you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta do the free work sometime. I know nobody likes to hear it and likes to do it, but you gotta put in the legwork. Because these jobs and these things that you do on your own, that you do for free, that you do for passion, those are what gets you the jobs. Those are what get you the big jobs. You know what I mean? And so, working on your strengths. I think I started this out saying, I realized within doing this and within the last just couple of months of exploring myself and my creativity, mine's is portraits. So I'm heavily, even whether I'm shooting fashion, advertising, whatever, I'm heavily leaning into portraits. With me, you kind of know what you're gonna get, right? And I'll briefly go through these. So this was like, forgot the studio name, but they hired me to do something for Converse. So yeah. This is just more free shit that I did, but this is like personal stuff. But and who, you know what I mean? Like, who's like, when I had these in my portfolio, then I got this job, right? H&M Kids. And everybody that hires me say, hey, I like the color and I like the lighting. I want to do that. And, oh, cool, I got a lot of experience, but I don't tell them it's free. Charge them what you want. You set your price at that point, right? Because at a certain point when clients come to you, they're looking to pay. Like, let's not be confused. There's money out here. They're looking to pay. And don't be scared to ask for the money. Because we all got to live. Small stuff. It's just personal stuff, free stuff. This is just kind of like a lot of those portraits led to some of these jobs. Like I shot for Coach. I did that. But yeah. Now, gifts. I think this is the easiest way to transition into some type of moving image, some type of video. People do theirs differently. I do mine with, I use videos sometimes. Instead of taking a bunch of photos, I use videos. I'll intentionally take video clips and just loop them. I'll just like shoot weird things. Fedora knows. It's like weird clips. Like, hey, I like that clip. And even though it looks stupid, it's like, nah, let's put that on a loop. Let's change some color. And now you got a GIF. All right? Or is it GIF? I don't know. Whatever. GIF? Yeah. So because of the GIFs that I did here, and here, I was able to feed my family for a couple months for this, right? And this is for Marie Claire. So some of this stuff right here got me the bigger stuff, right? Oh, and that's my fiance with our baby for Uggs. So shout out to that. That's 3 separate checks. There you go. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Free work. I still do free work from time to time, right? It has to make sense for me though, but I'll still do free work from time to time. I would say that when it's time to transition out of free work, it's gonna sound weird, when someone offers to pay you, right? Because here's what happens a lot of time. Even with me looking through my work and my own work, even some of this stuff, I cringe at it because I thought I was fly. I thought it was fire. I thought it was hard. And now I'm looking at it like, I really wasn't that good when I thought I was good. And let me tell you, the worst thing you can do as an artist is accept money for something you can't deliver on. Because I'm gonna tell you something, doing it for free is a favor. You can always say, hey, this is a favor. But if I give you $2 and I don't get what I want, and now you know you are the person who can't deliver? I paid him for some shoe, it was whack. Don't ever work with that person. Then you gotta dig yourself out of that hole. Now, consequently, I know that's not a word, I just made it up. You got to also understand pricing, because you don't always wanna be the $500 photographer, right? But I mean, you'll get to that point. You'll know when it's like, I can level up a little bit more. And if you wanna be proactive in charging, you can. But like I said, and no hiccups. Even if there is a hiccup, you gotta solve it right there on the spot, because that's what matters the most. People are not paying for your time, they're paying for your expertise and your knowledge and your leadership skills. Like, I don't think about myself in that way, but when it comes to the shoot, it's like I'm the captain of the ship, right? Everybody's equally as important as me, because that's how I run my ship, right? I'm the photographer, but if you're the stylist, you're important. You're here because I wanted you here because you're important, and so forth and so forth. Even down to your assistants, right? Because everybody thinks, we the shit. It's the people that's doing the grunt work behind the scenes that are helping you bring these images to life. Then what else? First paid job?
First paid job, and then process of artist agency, how you do it.
Yeah. First paid job was the editorial for WWD magazine. Shot it in Harlem. It's like 8 people. They paid me $750. That was maybe 2016, 2017, 2016? No, I was here 2016, right? So 2017, 2018. That's my first role. I did like some test shoots. Funny enough, every paid test that I did, I bombed the shit out of it. Because you know why? At first, I'm talking about, psychologically, you now have an expectation. A test shoot is a test. We just tested some shit. Like, I want to test lighting, I want to test poses. But again, psychologically, if you know that somebody gave you money for something, you're now trying to shoot what you think the agency wants instead of what the artist wants. So I know it's kind of like, it feels like I'm dancing around in circles, but that's kind of like, the money thing is, you just know, you know what I mean? And the first time you get money for a job, you're gonna fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like, within those first couple of jobs, because it's just experience. Because at this point, you experiencing shooting free stuff. Now you need to experience what happens if a pro photo pack goes out. What you gonna do? What happens if the flash triggers don't work? The batteries is dead. What you gonna do? You gotta be able to think about those things on the fly. Oh shit, there's no more gaff tape. It's gonna take an hour to get a messenger to send some gaff tape. What we gonna do? Gotta think about those things. And artist agency, it's a weird thing. I had an agency, we separated, and I'm back with another one. The best way I could put it was the best way it was said to me. An agent's job, especially now, is to take you from making $100,000, they want to help you make $300,000. That's literally the best way I could put it, right? They want you to be somewhat established, right? And there are times where you find somebody that will put in the work, massage, and actually like be there from the get-go, but you're gonna pay a heavier percentage, you know what I mean? And a lot of people like that, funny enough, they're also building their career. So y'all can build it together, for sure. But I wouldn't worry about that now. Like, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that now. It's so, not say it's so far away, but there's so much stuff you gotta do in between. Because again, if I hit your agent up, you come to this shoot, and shit ain't right, it's over. It looks bad for you and bad for your agent. You know what I mean? Hopefully I answered all those questions. Yeah, so at first it was me, obviously. And you know you messed up when you send somebody a price. You say, oh, sure, right away. You price yourself too low. And you can also price yourself too low that certain clients don't want to bother with you, right? So the way my pricing goes now is people email me or email my agent. I like to deal with bottom line figures, right? Hypothetically, if Tom hits me up for a job and it's to shoot, I don't know, this water bottle. It's a 5-day shoot on a water bottle. I'll tell my agent, hypothetically, I want to bring home $20,000, right? After their fees, they take their cut. They gotta live, they gotta eat too. And after assistance and after everything, budget into what I bring home that much. Then from there we can negotiate, right? Maybe I'll do 50, I'll bring home 15. Cool. But yeah, we kind of talk on the back end, and she's in the front just taking all the heat, right? She looks like the bad guy, not me. And she likes that. That's her job. Yeah. I think you had a question? You had a question? Yeah. Test shoots and editorials. And the way I would do it is if we have time after this, I'll show, like, I don't mind staying a little bit later. I'll show the mood boards. Like, I used to send out just mood boards upon mood boards to everybody. Sometimes they didn't answer and stole my idea. It's like that. I just want to let y'all know too, it's cutthroat, man. It's also business. It's art and commerce. It's like, it's a business behind all this. But yeah, a lot of it was just me pitching to magazines, hey, I'll shoot this for free. I'll work with these people, and these people. The first step is to build your little internal team. So if you're doing fashion and everything, you want to build hair, makeup, stylist, right? With that, you're good. Sometimes the hair and the makeup can be the same person. That's cool, right? You want to get that team, and you want to crank out as many tests as you can, right? You want to crank out. Have a nice little whatever. With these images that you created, you then take that to the agencies or magazine companies. Hey, this is my work. This is the idea I want to shoot. I would love to shoot this for you. And that's really how I got started. I really suck at Instagram, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say no social media.
Yeah, I use Instagram. I don't use it a lot, and that's my downfall. I just don't like Instagram, right? Did I do something? It's because I got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So yeah, but for sure I did use Instagram at first, for sure. I definitely got like a bunch of jobs off of Instagram, even though I suck at it. And LinkedIn. Use LinkedIn. Yo, that's okay. I'm to everybody here right now, because ain't nobody gonna tell y'all, because that's a secret. The real people that you need to talk to on LinkedIn, and they're gonna answer you because everybody on LinkedIn is serious. So once you on LinkedIn and you take it serious, they're gonna take you serious. Just be prepared to be taken serious when you get the money.
So do you often update your LinkedIn?
Do I often update my LinkedIn? No, I haven't used LinkedIn in like years. But I know, actually I go about it once in a while, but I would say this, my success ratio with LinkedIn is like 98%. Like 98%. People will hit you back immediately. Yes, sir. The question is there a point in my career that I wanted to give up? Hell yeah. 2 days ago, shit. For real. And how did I get out that funk? So, me and my other homies are in the back. They're two amazing photographers as well as these guys right here. We have this conversation all the time. And it's not even necessarily wanting to quit. It's just what I said in the beginning. What happened when that phone don't ring? You gotta figure it out. I would say this. I read The Alchemist like 10 times, right? I love that book. And I feel like every time I seriously think about, I think I might just pick up a second job. I may just do something on the side. The universe is like, nah, here goes this big campaign job that just came in. Like, it literally happens all the time. But to get yourself out of that funk realistically is to reset yourself. Some self-care is involved. So take a break mentally and get back to why you started it in the first place. So for me, it was shooting just editorials. I had the most fun and some of my best work when it was literally me. My friend, he moved to London now. His name was Pax. It was literally me and him. And he like did the makeup, did the styling, did the art direction, did everything. I directed, I did this, I did that. I helped him with the styling. And it's like, it was some of the best work I ever made because it was just pure. It was just out of love. And we was cranking them out like, I went back to my archives. I think we was doing like 2 editorials a week for like 2 years. editorials and tests. It was just, y'all got clothes. You want to come do this? Cool. And it was just, if we see somebody in the street, hey, you look cool. You want to model? And yes, I guess you got to just reset. Definitely take some time. We all need time. And get the go for social media because everything is not perfect. Everybody not always making the bread. And get back to what made you start doing it in the first place. Let me see if I got this. How did I break into the commercial advertising world from editorial? Yeah. Oh, yo, LinkedIn, bro. LinkedIn is definitely like one. So I won't lie. Up until I had my child, I was persistent as shit. I was literally, I'm emailing you a couple times a month. I'm calling. At one point, I would just call agencies. Hey, I want to book a model. Who do I need to speak to? Sometimes they'll hang up. Sometimes they'll give you the thing. But I was definitely a person that when I graduated, it was over. I'm calling. I'm literally would have days where I send out hundreds of emails a day. And now from there, I got into that. So what happens is a lot of people that you work with in the editorial world that are kindly slowly graduate to advertorial, which is like mini campaign. And a lot of those people are also working on the campaigns. That's why your team is important. Your hair and makeup artists that you work with, they do a lot of free shit and maybe haven't worked together for a while because they went on to do something else. They may get a big job like, y'all know who's perfect for this. Your stylist, I'm like, I know who's perfect for this. That Converse thing I did, the stylist brought me on. They didn't know who I was. Actually, a lot of times, a lot of people say, yo, this is crazy. I had no idea who you were until now. And you're like, your work is fire. And I'm always like, I appreciate it. I'm always floored by it because I really appreciate, we're artists. I don't even think I think my work is cool. I'm not going to lie, but I don't think it's fire. There's like people I look at all the time like, damn, I wish I could do that. But yeah, a lot of times it's word of mouth, yo. I'm a big referral person. A lot of my jobs I get are from referral. And I try not to be a jerk. Anybody can learn photography, but you have to have a decent personality. You know what I mean? Like, for real, I know I said everything about being a problem solver. If you're not a good person, figure out how to be a good person first. Even if you need to drink 5 coffees to fake being a good person, whatever you do, you got to do it because that's what's going to get you the stuff. Like, we're not curing major diseases and shit, right? Like, we're creating art. We're helping society and we're impacting it in a major way and we're contributing. But like, you know what I mean? We're creating art. This is like, the world doesn't always revolve around us. You know what I mean? And I guess if you go on set like that and just provide the vibes. You got to provide the vibes. So the first one, how do you make the small camera, let them know that, yo, this is what I do. Funny enough, I was going to bring my camera. My work is shot. I use every camera. The camera I use the most, I shoot for New York Times, I do all this shit, is a small rangefinder camera, small digital camera, right? I shoot with Fuji, so it's a Fuji camera. It's a small camera. And man, let me see. I'll show you right now. It is hard because people just assume big cameras mean stuff. A lot of this is a small crop sensor 20 megapixel camera, right? But who cares? Can you tell? No. What you can tell is that I shot it. So as long as you communicate to your client that like, you're hiring me. These are the tools that I use to create those things, right? Your gear is not really a limitation, especially now, everything is like good, right? Your gear is not a limitation. You feel what I'm saying? A friend of mine, I ain't gonna say his name because I don't want to blow him up. He shoots Ralph Lauren. He shoots a ton of campaigns on 2 small crop sensor cameras, 2 Fuji cameras. Like literally, you could almost put them in your pocket. Hundreds of thousands of dollars he makes. So he uses. Shoots covers the New York Times every week. All he uses is these small cameras. And because I had the same conversation with him, because I went from having this big ass multi-purpose tool Hasselblad. I got a hole with 3 hands, 2 hands, whatever. And it's like, now I got this little camera and I can see everything. Because you know what? All that stuff, your vision is less cluttered. I just think to answer your question is you gotta be able to communicate as a professional that like these are my tools, and that's it. If they want you to hire you for your vision and your look, that's what comes with it. Question number 2 was what again? My bad.
Should I give my
Oh,
detailed
about
budget
budgets?
to my client?
Yes. Even you gotta make it up? Yes.
Can you repeat it again?
Oh, sorry. Should you get a detailed budget to your clients? It's not always a yes, but some majority is a yes. So like, even if you're fudging the numbers, you can do your line as, hey, this is my artist fee, this is my assistant's fee, this is the, I say creative fee, right? So for me, hypothetically, right? If I charge for a shoot, my creative fee, $3,500. That's it. For me to show up with a camera and a laptop, right? Nothing else. And I'm not doing no retouching, don't even ask me for anything. I'm still gonna be a great person on set, but this is a job. Now you tack on everything. I have a digital tech. My digital tech costs $850 a day. My assistant costs $350 to $500 a day, right? Depending on the level of expertise, right? The gear rental, because you're running, it's like a car. You're putting miles on your gear, right? Yo, my gear rental is, I don't know, $300 a day, right? And you want to use these photos for what? Cool. So that's licensing. I learned that from Jack's class. That's licensing, and that costs some money. The rights and usage, all that. Thank you. Usage, hey, that costs. And don't let them trick you with the, I'm just using it for social. Social media is a fucking global thing, dog. This might as well be a printed campaign. That costs money. You know what I mean? So I would do it like that. And on bigger jobs though, like I gotta take photos of receipts. I gotta like, everything is detailed. So even the numbers are, whatever your numbers are, your numbers, on a smaller scale, I would start just practicing invoicing like that. Even if it's just, sometimes I send people just one line. For a test shoot, artist fee, $500. Just so I get in the habit of that. Assistant was this much. Just so you see, you know what I mean? Even if it's 1 or 2 lines, just so you get into the habit of that. And what's your third question? The trials and tribulations of working with your partner and how to communicate what you want to do, right? Your vision. Even without my partner, with my partner, we've been together for like 10 years, so we kind of got like a thing now when we work together. But even with other people, you know what I do? If I don't think it'll look nice and you want me to shoot it, I'm shooting digital, I don't care. Shoot it, shoot one frame. I'll take a photo, let's see if it works. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. But as a director, you gotta, not that my word is law, but yo, I said what I said. So you can shoot what you want to shoot after you shoot what I said to shoot, because it's my vision. Now guess what? That might go to the editing room and what they contributed might be more, it might be better than your idea. That's cool, because that's a collaboration, right? I'm always down to collaborate in totality until it's like, until you get higher ups in the ranks. And I'm only saying that because at the end of the day, if something don't happen, it's your fault. I don't care about your DP that didn't want to shoot what you want to shoot. You're supposed to be able to be the captain of your ship. You know what I mean? So it's just a communication thing. I would definitely communicate that. And I will also be lenient. I guess in this situation, that person needs to be a little more lenient. And you could just shoot both. It's all right. Like, it takes an extra 5 minutes. Who cares? The Black Farmers Project that I shot with Fuji, you want to know if I shot it with Fuji and what Fuji did I use? Yes. So it works for me because I shoot with Fuji now anyway, like even way before this. The photos, I use a GFX. That's because for my work, medium format is almost like just regular for me. I don't really care about how many autofocus points and how fast your camera is. I don't care. Did I shoot with Fuji? Yes. We use the XH2S and I use the XH and the X-T4. Yeah. Those 3, well actually those 2 cameras, the X2S and the X-T4. Those are the 2 main cameras I use. In layman's term, being black on set.
Exactly.
There's a lot of times. So I also believe in, I'm black as shit. I also believe in full diversity, right? So even my teams, when I say diversity, I don't just mean like, oh, let's pick some person here, some person here. No, we all think different, we look different, come from different places, right? So a lot of times people will tell you my sets are multicultural or very diverse, right? There has been a plethora of times, like shooting for like jobs that like you're looking almost into six figure budgets, right? That if my assistant is white, or they'll go up to them, oh, hi, Timothy. And it's like, nah. Full discrepancy, I'm very toned down today. On an H&M shoot, I showed up like, I had rings on every finger. Because that's how I dress. I got like 10 rings, I got like 7 gold chains, whatever, but that's me as an artist. And I do like that aha moment. It's like, nah, that's me. It's me. But my biggest gripe with that is just like, I wish people and brands, companies, whatever, it takes 2 seconds to look up who I am. Like, dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, can't really confuse me with a lot of other people. You know what I mean? Like, it's, look at me, you know what I mean? So, I face that a lot, and trust me, everybody has their types. Like, if you're a woman, you're gonna have your own issue, your own set of issues. Whatever community or whatever you identify as, you're gonna have your own issues. Hopefully, we get to a place where like that doesn't matter. But yes, I've definitely experienced that, and of course a lot of sorries, and even sometimes negotiating stuff. Like a lot. I met one agent, and they said it's great that your name is Timothy Smith because you look like this, but your name is Timothy Smith, which is alluding I sound white, and we could get higher budgets. That's what an agent said to me in a meeting for me to be on the agency. So I mean, it's a thing. I'm not going to like super dwell on it because, you know, like I said, every group, everybody has their own discrepancies, but yeah, we don't like that over here. Next question. Thank you, Tamara. So do I think that limits the talent that I shoot? Yes and no. I'm also a big proponent of, I feel like at one point it did, right? Like, let's not get the like, at one point, a black person don't have access to like the same models and the same celebrities, right? But I think now that we are in a new wave and people are really like knowledgeable on our contribution to art and society, I think now times have changed. Like there's a bunch of photographers now that I follow that are black that like are shooting fire, right? Like, and they're shooting a bunch of different people. So for me, I would say no. And what I've learned, especially this year, is not to get so caught up on that. Is to keep my head down and focus on myself. Because at the end of the day, I didn't say it, Tamara said it, the shit is fire. So at some point, you know what I mean? It's all going to steamroll and keep going. I think once we start putting out the negative energy and worry about everybody else, it stops us creatively. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, I think it did. I think it does a little bit, but not as much. I think you know what I mean? We got it. We could do this. So did I approach my agency or did they approach me? So normally people would tell you to let your agency approach you, right? That's like the thing. Because I know that I'm not really big on social media. My selling thing is my website, right? And my decks, right? So like I said this before, when I graduated, I was very proactive. I'm emailing everybody. So I'm not gonna say their names because we're not together now, but an agency that I emailed on the day of my thesis, after my graduation was done actually, I emailed them, thought I was a shit. I'm out of grad school, I'm fire. Nah, kid, you're not good enough, right? Last year, so what, like 5 years later, whatever, I emailed them, like 2 years ago. Hey, I emailed you in 2016, 2017, but like, I'm better now. Do you want to see? And I just attached, I attached my site, but what I did in the email was I attached 3 or 4 pages out of a deck. Cause don't nobody got time to click on your website and scroll, bro. My agent would tell me she would get 180 emails an hour, right? So I attached it, I got a response. Like, oh, this is crazy. I actually remember you. Let's have a conversation. Now that coincidentally led to a few other agencies actually reaching out to me. So I was proactive, to answer your question. I think it's always better to be proactive. The worst they can say is no, but now you're on their radar, right? Now the pros and cons of an agency, again, it takes you from making whatever money to more money, because there were jobs that I was doing for $2,500 that my agent, is it cool if I talk like some type of money? Okay, so the stuff that I was shooting for $2,500, the same company, same brand, same everything, my agent got me $16,000 in one shoot, just literally, just like, oh no. And guess what? They paid it without even batting an eye, because they knew for all those years, you know what I mean? But here's the trick. Maybe you should take this off the internet. I don't want to give it the secrets. A lot of clients will tell you, yeah, I don't like working with artists with agents. Agents get in the way. You know what I mean? Agents trying to get you your money, right? So now here's the thing. Do you need an agent? No. Because I know people who do not have agents that make way more money than me, that know how to negotiate. Again, once you feel that you're at the level that you need an agent, somebody's gonna let you know, right? Like, okay, yeah, you're in the big leagues. You can start negotiating yourself. Set up a fake email, info at whatever. Hey, thank you for emailing me. I'm gonna have my agent reach out to you. You email back, hey, I'm so-and-so's agent. I want $20,000 for this project, plus 20% agency fees. But we can negotiate. Love to chat later. That's it. You know what I mean? It's just the best thing about it adds that level of protection as an artist, because we don't like talk money. I don't like talk money. I like to tell my friends if I had a job that makes a certain amount of money, so now they know, okay, cool. If I work with them, I know I could charge this, right? But yeah, as artists, I don't talk money. I don't want to negotiate. I just want to show up and shoot, and that's what they're banking on. They're banking on that you love it so much you do it for free. How many times have you said that? I love this shit so much I'll do it for free. Like, I love taking photos. I love being a director. Oh, where you do it for free? Oh, that's great. Yo, come here. I like you. You don't need no agent. Nah. Set up a fake email, bro. Set up a fake email. Act like your agent, and see. You know what I mean? Because getting the agency is hard, and now you got to realize you're just a name on a roster. So that's the other thing. That's the flip side. You got to be a heavy hitter to be up in those ranks. Because if I got a photographer, think about business. If I got a photographer that's bringing me in $300,000 every quarter, and you charging $10,000 for a job, that artist comes first. There's a line of artists that come before you. You know what I mean? So having an agent is cool because it sounds cool, but you don't need them to negotiate. You just gotta be about that bread. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to say thank you, Tim Smith, for the images.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, beautiful people.